pastor told me on Wednesday, he said, hey, you know what we're going to do? No, you know what you're going to do. And I said, well, whatever you order me to do, that will I do. He didn't really order me, but he told me to, and who am I to say no to the man of God? So, let's read Deuteronomy 6, 1 through 9 again.
Amen.
And then we're going to pick this off. Now this is a commandment, and these are the statutes and the judgments, which the Lord your God has commanded to teach you, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess, that you may fear the Lord your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command you, and your son and your grandsons, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Therefore hear, O Israel, and be careful to observe it, that it may be well with you, and that you may multiply greatly, as the Lord God of your fathers has promised you, a land flowing with milk and honey. Hear, O Lord, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk with them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Amen.
Amen. So, as it is written in Romans chapter 1, the evidence of God is clearly shown through the natural relations of the world. There are symbiotic relationships between God's creatures and his creation, and so that not only do they glorify God, they have a purpose towards one another. The sun is of a perfect distance away from the earth. It is not too close to where life cannot happen and destroy anything close to it. But it is of a perfect distance to support life as it is. The air that we breathe, is of a specific chemical mixture to where we can breathe it and it doesn't bother us. Too low oxygen, we couldn't survive. Too high of oxygen, you can't think clearly. The trees, even the trees and precipitation shows us God's handiwork. Man, through godless knowledge, have said that through 16 billion years of chemical reactions and just coincidence, do we get precipitation and evaporation, purification of water through the sky and the ground, and that the trees that we take for sacred not only provide the oxygen that we breathe, but then we breathe out the CO2, and they take that CO2 to make more oxygen for us. Man has said that's 16 billion years worth of coincidence. Today, that is a sign of God. God exists. God made a system that is flawless. One of the easiest correlations to understand the who and how of God is to look at the relationship of the Father and the children. When we speak of the triune God, when we speak of God, we naturally say first God the Father, and then we say God the Son, then we say God the Holy Spirit. Children will then understand that concept by looking at their own natural father, looking at their parents. And so here in Deuteronomy, we start off in chapter 6. So let me give you a background of what's going on. At this point in time, the children are in the land of the Moabites. They are on the other side of the Jordan, getting ready to possess the land which was promised to them through the covenant of Abraham and through Isaac and through Jacob. They are sitting there and they're talking to, well, they're not talking, they're being talked to by a 120-year-old Moses who knows his days are quickly coming to an end. Moses knows this because not only does he stop and have this conversation, which actually goes on for a month. It's 3 different sermons. And he has these conversations, and he even says it within the first chapter, because God favored you, God has told me I will not cross over, because pretty much Moses insulted the people during a point in time at the rock of the Belasheth. And so, at this point in time, Moses says, me to talk to you. It's time for me to tell you my last thing so I can go out the way. Joshua is the leader incumbent. Joshua is also there standing, being ready to go. I'm sorry, I said wrong. The rock is called Meribah. So he sits here and he puts reminders into the people's mind.
Yeah.
He sits there in the book of Deuteronomy and he reminds them of all the iniquities that they have done. He reminds the children of Israel that even though they crossed the Red Sea, he reminds them that the people were so wicked and so rebellious that God resolved to have them swallowed up by the ground. And then he struck down a slew of people by fire from on high, which is recorded in Numbers 16:33-35. The people even made a calf idol and attributed their exodus from Egypt to this idol instead of God, that they saw use Moses to lead them through the Red Sea untouched, which is recorded in Exodus 32. Even in the first chapter of the book of Moses tells the people, for the people's sake, that Moses once again had to go because he did what was wrong in the sight of the Lord. Here's an interesting observation. That so many parents afterwards, and some probably beforehand, God the Father, Abba, is listing what is wrong, what they have done wrong, and the punishments that he gave them. But here also reminded them what he has provided for them in spite of their ruling behavior.
All right.
This is a perfect example of Father God being a parent. Because in spite of the children of Israel's ruling behavior, he provided for them what they needed.
All right.
He not only provided them for what they needed, he also allowed them to conquer enemy tribes and to go across and become unscathed. Because that's exactly what he promised that they would be able to do. He reminded them of the conquest against nomadic and idol-ridden tribes of Sihon and Og, and how he granted them the total conquest of their land, and even allowed 2.5 tribes of Israel to settle there on the other side of the Jordan. He also Moses reassured them the leadership of Joshua, that Joshua was the incumbent leader waiting for as Moses passed. Because Joshua was one of 2 scouts out of 12 that actually gave a God-reverent report when they scouted the land of Canaan. Joshua and Caleb, according to the Bible, were the only 2 people of their generation that made it across the Jordan.
All right.
Let's think about this. There was generations, if you read the Numbers, if you read the book of Numbers and you read the numbers of people who were slew, it comes out to about 2 to 3 million. So out of those 2 to 3 million, we can say there's at least 3 or 4 generations, so we can estimate somewhere around 1 million people. And so from Joshua and Caleb, there were only 2 out of somewhere between 800,000 and 1 million people that actually made it across the Jordan of that generation. This is something that is an amazing sign of God, of God's discipline. He withdrew a promise from that generation that he gave to Abraham. This is something parents often have to do. There's times when you promise your children, hey, I'll give you some candy if you behave today. They don't behave. Therefore, I can't give them candy. Even though I made a covenant saying that I'll give them some candy, they didn't behave, so therefore I didn't give them the candy. These children of Israel had such negative behavior, they just murmured. And they behaved as if they didn't receive anything from God. They even said, God has led us out of Egypt so we can die among the wilderness. Why would God do such a thing? Why would God take them out of captivity so they can die in destitute? So these people got in mind that they knew better than God. They challenged God. They made themselves to be greater than what they were in the sight of God. And here's the simple truth that you can understand about parenting. While the child is in your house, the child is never greater than the parent. It cannot be. In today's age, you see a lot of times where a child challenges a parent. They will say no. as if they have the ability to say no.
Mm-hmm.
They would say, I am going to go do, as if they have the authority to say, I am going to go do. And clearly within the book of the Bible, especially when it came to the Israelites, every time the Israelites said, we're going to go do something, they failed miserably and God punished them for it.
Yeah. Come on now.
He punished even Josiah, being one of the holy kings of Judah. When he said he was going to go do, when he went to go challenge the Egyptians, he was smote utterly. So there was only one child on the face of the earth that was ever greater than his parents. And we all know that child was Jesus Christ. And neither one was Jesus Christ, and therefore we can't challenge our parents. That's one thing you need to understand as a father. Your children cannot challenge you. You sometimes need to understand you're wrong, but your children cannot truly challenge you. God even had to be a mediating father before we got to chapter 6. Because the Moabites and the Edomites were ancestrally related to the Israelites. Edomites being the children of Esau and the Moabites being the children of Lot. They were in natural conflict with the Israelites at all times.
All right.
Just like brother and sister seem to also be in natural conflict with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Cousins of close age seem to be natural conflict with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all have seen my cousin Mike. I love that man to death. He is, to me, as close as any brother I've ever had. When me and him was younger, we used to fight like cats and dogs. That's how it used to be. And so, what God did is, God taught them a lesson of sharing. God said, I will allow you to traverse the land of the Moabites, and I'll allow you to traverse the land of the Edomites, but you're not taking any of that land. I have promised that land to Esau, and I have promised that land to Lot. And so, then you see, like I said, God showing the side of a father having to teach his children how to share. Because children naturally don't like to share. Because they see something that's theirs, and they want it to just be theirs.
Right.
And even though the other child wants to use it and might not want to take it, the original child doesn't want to let it go. Now I'm saying that to say that you can see the outline of a father through all the things that God is reminding the children of Israel what he's done and what they've done. You see the children of Israel being simply children, which is why we call them that. And we see God in a fatherly role, punishing, chastising, and still giving favor at the same time.
Yeah.
You can learn how to be a father by God's actions in the Bible and the example he leaves for us. No, you as human man cannot order the ground to swallow your children or have a pillar of fire come down and strike them down.
That's
because
right.
they got on your last nerves.
That's right.
You cannot do that. Simply, that type of thing is frowned upon in today's culture. B, no matter how bad your children are, they are nowhere near as bad as the Israelites. Like I listed before, the people rebelled again and again, even though they knew the Red Sea miracle. They knew about the pillar of fire at night. They knew about the distinct cloud that led them during the day.
Yeah.
They knew about the manna from on high that they'd never seen before. They knew about the water spring miracle where enough water came out of this rock where it fed the Israelites and it fed their cattle. They knew about the miracles of when they hung up the snake and people were healed. They knew about all these things, and yet these children simply just rebelled. And if you skip through chapter 4 and 5, I'm not saying that chapter 4 and 5 ain't important, but you will see in chapter 4 and 5, after God has put in remembrance what he's done, God then says, this is what I require you to do. He gives them the covenant in a short, sweet version. He gives them the law in a short, sweet version. He reiterates the 10 Commandments. And this is something we can see as his fatherhood. Because once my children get older, I can tell them, these are the things that I've done for you. So now these are the things I expect from you.
All right.
He is teaching us fatherhood by his very actions. If you simply look at the way he's doing it. So his covenant goes through and says, you shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery. We all know the 10 commandments. And he also tells children to obey their mother and their father, and he gives them a promise and says, if you obey your mother and your father, you will have a long life.
Yeah.
Amen. Now here in chapter 6, now that we're here in chapter 6, he's put in remembrance of the covenant, and he made elaboration of it in chapter 4 and 5. But here we see that God has said that these commandments, these statutes, and these judgments are to be observed, or should be observed once they possess the land. And so that's a special word to the Israelites. If you know anything about Judaism and ancient Israelites, everything went back to the land. When Joseph died in Egypt, Joseph said, I want my bones to be taken up and buried into the promised land.
All right.
So how do we understand this whole concept of promised land in today's age? Because as of right now, God has not told Antonio Campbell, get from your father's house and walk to a place that I will lead you and possess a foreign land. He has not told me that, but what he has told me is, Antonio Campbell, I have a calling for you. I have a calling for you, and through that calling, I will bless you.
All right.
That's what he has. So today's age, you can understand that the calling and the anointing of God is equivalent to the land of Israel. And so he says in verse 1, now this is the commandment, and these are the statutes and judgments the Lord your God has commanded to teach you, that you may observe them in the land which you are crossing over to possess. So therefore, as a father, and my calling is being a father, because you must know, being a father, being a mother, is a calling. Yes, you can go out and you can do what you want to go do, and you can have children willy-nilly on a night you probably don't even remember if you're that type of sinner, but yet you have been called to be a father.
Yes. You done stepped into it now.
Yes.
Like you said, you done stepped into it, but you have been called to be a father.
Yeah.
Verse 2, that you may fear the Lord your God, and keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, you and your grandson and your grandson, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. And so once again, God has said, if you keep my commandments, and that you teach your children and your grandchildren, I will prolong your days. And you must understand, when God says, I'm going to prolong your days, he's not going to just prolong your days. He's going to give you blessings upon blessings upon blessings during those prolonged days.
All right.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
And while he's giving you these blessings upon blessings, he's also going to test you, because the people of Israel were tested in their land, so therefore you will be tested in your calling. As a father, I am tested in my calling daily. But I understand that my children are children, just like God was tested. You don't think God was tested? At one point in time, God said, I repented that I made man.
Yeah.
He had to repent to himself that he made man.
Come on.
He said that I cannot dwell with man alone. He gave him 120 years.
Yes, sir.
He said in 120 years, I'm pressing the reset button.
Great God from Zion.
So, if God has been tested by man, and God is this infinite being that we know that he is, the supreme creator, the source of all power, if he's tested by us, lo and behold, what a simple man like me will be tested by my children. For my children are smart. Too smart for their own good. And it gets on my nerves sometimes. Therefore, hear, O Israel, and be careful to observe it, that it may be well with you, and that you may multiply greatly, as the land God of your fathers has promised you, a land flowing with milk and honey. A land flowing with milk and honey. A flowing with milk and honey. What does a flowing of milk and honey mean? Does it physically mean when I walk into the land of Israel, I will see milk like a river, I will see honey coming down like a waterfall, like one of those cereal commercials? No, it does not mean that. What that is, that's poetic language. That poetic language means favor and blessings. Favor and blessings.
Right.
And why I say it means favor and blessings is this. For a man to get milk, you must milk a cow, a goat. You must milk something to get that milk.
All right.
That's right.
All right.
For you to get honey, lo and behold, you got to go up against bee nest.
Sir.
Somehow, some way, get that honey without getting stung
Yeah,
at
the
death.
bees.
But here God says, I will let the milk and the honey flow.
Yeah.
As in, you don't have to do the milking. You don't have to go up against the nest.
Uh-huh.
The only thing you have to do is obey my commandments, and the milk and the honey will flow.
Yeah.
So this is poetic language saying, if you obey my commandments, my blessing and my flavor will flow.
Amen.
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 He says, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. This is a declaration statement. This is similar to the statement that God made to Moses when he was in the burning bush, when he said, I am that I am. This is a declaration saying that I am the Lord your God. I am the one true God. I am one. I am resolute. There is nothing else. You can substitute in that verse, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.
Okay.
I am he who can only be judged by he. I am resolute. I cannot be challenged.
Praise
I
God.
cannot be touched.
Hallelujah.
And that declaration statement goes because in verse 5 he says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might.
Mm-hmm.
So, doesn't that passage sound familiar? Yes, that passage does sound familiar because that passage is also said by Christ in Matthew's.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's recorded in 3 of the Gospels. Also recorded in Mark, it's recorded in Luke.
This is not
Mhm. All
It
right.
is amazing to see that right here we can see an example of children. How can we see that example of children, you may ask? Here, Christ said that he came not to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law. And one way of fulfilling the law, he said that the sum of all the laws is that you love God your Father with all your might, with all your soul, with all your strength. And to love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, here in verse 5, during the time of the law, during the beginning of the time of the law, he just said that you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. So therefore, he already gave you the culmination of the law.
Mm-hmm.
In the book of Leviticus, in the book of Numbers, he gave them laws after laws after laws. But here in Deuteronomy, he gave them the full summation, the completion of the law.
Yeah.
And yet the children minds of Israelites missed it. They missed that if you simply love the Lord your God, you will follow all these commandments.
You simply love
They will be natural if you simply just love them. And that is something you can see in children.
Yeah.
If children simply love their parents,
Mm-hmm.
they will follow the commandments of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
But there's times where children will miss simple things. And then you have to explain it to them in an elongated way. I can tell my children, hey, go get the milk and pour me a glass. My children can then go, where's the milk at? And I go, you can figure it out. My children goes, well, how much milk do you want in the glass? And I just said, hey, just pour me a glass. Which glass do you want? And this can go day in, day out. When they simply could have just followed the simple command, hey, pour me some milk in the glass.
Amen.
The Israelites missed it. If you was here with Elder Breon there, Elder Breon said they were legalistic. And that was true. They were very legalistic. They did not see the simple things. They did see the things add up. To them it was, they took joy in trying to figure out what adds to this and what does this and what does that, versus just believing that if I just do this one thing, it doesn't really matter what adds up, it all adds up to my favor.
All right. Lord. Amen. All right. Simply love.
So here, again, in verse 6, it says, and these words which I command you today shall be in your heart. In verse 6, he commands that the teachers have the words of his commandments in their hearts. A teacher only can teach that which is in their hearts, truly. They can have a curriculum. They can have a piece of paper saying they're supposed to say this. But the true professors, the true people who can outreach, teach what's in their heart. Not to take away anything from the mothers and her hard and sacred duty, but us, the fathers, are the ones God will look at, since we claim the head of household. So when it comes to teaching the Word of God, yes, it's the mother's duty to teach the Word of God. But God said that man is his Lord, and woman is man's Lord, and a woman's Lord is her hair. So therefore, when things go awry, who is God looking at? God is looking at man. And so therefore, man, it requires a father to have these words which he commanded today in our hearts. How can I teach my children the Word of God unless it is in me? Unless I have it in my heart, unless I have it on my mind, unless I have it ready to go in my mouth? How can I expect my children to follow standards unless those standards are followed by me?
All right.
Amen. And so then we go to verse 7. You shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk with them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. This is not saying every time you get up, teach the children. This is not saying every time you go down, teach the children. What this is saying is in your everyday life, teach the children. You can look and see in almost every attribute of life a teachable moment. When your children do something, when you do something, you can see a teachable moment. Even when you're doing wrong, there is a teachable moment that God can get the glory out of. Amen. Amen. And so, when you go around your day, especially with my children or me with the car, we will have conversations, and let's be for real, children, their conversations will go 50 different directions, 50 million times. And God will allow you to have the ability to just say something. It doesn't have to be a verse. It doesn't have to be a verse. It doesn't have to be something that's from the Bible. It doesn't have to be something with a lot of words, because listen, for real kids ain't gonna get a lot of words. But what it can be is, baby, don't talk to that boy. That boy is not right. That in itself edifies God. It's teaching her to be chaste. It's teaching her to be modest, which are attributes you will find in the New Testament are sweet in God's eyes. I can talk to my son. My son says, hey, I just wanted to judo chop him, because that's something he says on a regular basis. I can say to him, son, no, don't put your hand on anybody, because the men of God are not called to be violent. The men of God are not to be men of violence. We're not to be men of drunkenness. We're not to be men of just rudeness and boisterism. Right? We are to be men called separate from God. And so you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. This also is poetic. This is poetic because what it means is that the bind them on the sign of your hands. What is the sign of your hands? The sign of your hands is what your hands go out to do. If I go out and fight, then the sign of my hands is fighting. If I go out to work, the sign of my hands is working. If I go out to lift my brother, then the sign of my hands is to lift my brother. The frontlets between your eyes, the frontlet between your eyes is supposed to be there to direct the way you see. The way you see things, the way you focus, the way you interpret things. That in itself is simply saying your mind, the way you look and you view things. So what he's saying is that the commandments of God, the word of God, the law of God, the statutes of God, the standards of God are there to judge and to help you interpret the things that you see. So therefore, when I see a shooting in the street, I interpret it not in a carnal way, but I interpret it in a godly way. And I see that the Father God has said that one creation has just slain another. When I see things going on geopolitically, and when I see things going on throughout all the countries, just like the fire that just broke out in London where all those people died, 24 stories engulfed in flames. I see that as horrendous. I see that as in God's in pain. He's seeing his creatures being burnt up. And even if it might be judgment, God is still in pain.
Agreed.
He is grieved that his people will not turn to him. And things will happen to where, because of his holy nature, he's not going to step in.
Wow.
And you say, you shall bind them as a sign of your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. This right here to me is also poetic, because I truly believe that the beloved John thought about this when he wrote about the mark of the beast. And why I say he wrote about that, the mark of the beast, he said the mark of the beast will be on your forehead and it will be on your hands. It could be some little ship they put in your forehead. It could be some ship that they put in your hand. It could be that. But why I truly believe it is the thoughts of your mind and the actions of your hand. It says in Revelations that people would not be able to go and buy. They would not be able to get food. They would not be able to trade unless they had the mark of the beast.
Yes.
So here, before Revelations is even thought of, in Deuteronomy, God is saying, no. You shall have your commandments as your mark. My statute shall be your mark. And so therefore I can look and say that's a fatherly thing. And that's a fatherly thing because I can tell my children, I don't give a care what that teacher tells you. If I said that you're supposed to do something, that's what you do. The mark of the beast is going to be something popular. It's going to be a popular way of thinking. It's going to be a popular set of actions. It's going to be something that people celebrate. They're going to celebrate it even though it's wrong, but they'll celebrate it as it's right. We can see that as it right now. At least right now, June is Pride Month.
Yeah.
It's celebrated as something right, even though we know, according to the Word of God, it's something wrong. So therefore, the mark of the beast is clearly shown.
Yeah.
And so as a father, not only